they were packed with gold coins. You could not get one more gold coin in this. And this was 1964, when it was illegal to hold more than 5 ounces of gold, except these were all pre-1933 gold coins. And, you know, I didn't really understand the significance of that at that time. And it always goes in like a figure 8, from undervaluation to fair valuation to overvaluation to fair valuation and back again. So it's that repeatable pattern. Gold is real money because it has been accepted as real money for 5,000 years. And it does not require a government to say, oh, this is money. In fact, they prefer to do the other way. But a lot of things over the years have been attempted to be used as money, but only gold meets all the criteria. So it's divisible without a loss of value. I mean, diamonds have a lot of value, but if you cut them in half, well, they lose most of their value. But that's not true with gold, right? It's all recoverable. So as a tool of measure, it is absolutely ideal because we can account for pretty much all of the gold that has ever been mined, and we also can determine how much is left. So there's a finite amount of it. So it's money because it has been globally accepted as money. Right. Additionally, it has, as its most important function, in my opinion, and probably in most people's opinion, is that it holds its value over time. And the reason why it does that is because it has the most functionality of any asset having use across the entire global economic spectrum. So you can have a piece of gold on your body or a coin in your pocket, go anywhere in the world and instantly convert it into any other currency. Got it. But because of that functionality and that demand, go back, in a true supply demand market, it holds its value because there's always multiple places. So it's used in the financial system, right? Central banks hold gold. It's used in medicine, it's used in manufacturing, it's used in food, it's used in jewelry, it's used everywhere. So sometimes demand is higher, sometimes it's softer, but it doesn't lose value because it has qualities that they've never been able to duplicate. Also, why it's money, it takes labor and energy to pull it out of the ground, right? So when you're on a gold standard, what you're really doing is trading labor, my labor, for somebody else's labor that pulls it out of the ground, right? That is a fair system. However, governments that want to tax and spend have a challenge with that system, because if they do that, if they tax you on it, you know it. And you might not agree to it. You might give them some pushback. So they had to go to fiat, which is government money, and by decree, that in the very design of it is inflation. They know that not one man in a million understands inflation, and inflation causes nominal confusion. So for example, if you had a $20 bill 10 years ago and you have a $20 bill today, nominally they are identical. They're both $20 bills. But what that $20 bill bought you 10 years ago and what it buys you today is vastly different. Yeah. So in that way, through inflation, the government, whoever is closest to the central banks that create the money, they always get the money when it has the most value. But for governments, that was a way for them to tax you without you knowing it, because they didn't have to legislate it. You just stop and think about it, it loses. And not only that, but through inflation, the instruments or the assets look like they're worth more money. So then when you sell them, they get to tax you again in inflation. It's genius. So once they started to devalue, you know, we talk about reset, and this comes up a lot because people think that a reset is just this one big clap overnight event. And certainly it is, but inflation itself is constantly resetting the value of the currency. Because if it costs you more to buy gold, silver, glasses, anything that you use, but it has the same functionality that it's always had, is that really that asset going up in value, or really the currency, the government currency, going down in value? You know, in 1971, the average wage was $9,500. And I'm not saying you were super wealthy at that, but you could support on one wage a family of 4.
Right.
Today, I think it's something like 52,000. So on the surface, you go, well, wow, I would really much rather have 52,000 than 9,500. But in this country, when they gave out the stimulus checks, they gave the stimulus checks out to anybody earning less than $75,000 a year. And one wage earner at 52, you need 2. And then you're still at 100,000, you're still paycheck to paycheck.